Mexico is far from off the radar. In fact, it's about as on radar as you can get. Behind all the all-inclusives and private beaches lie some really interesting places that wait for you to travel and explore. So I'm here today to share with you what I learned and some places that I think that you should check out if you plan your trip in 2020 this year to Mexico on the Yucatan Peninsula. That's gonna be me. The first big hurdle to overcome was flights. Now, I booked with a budget airline known as Swoop. It operates primarily out of Canada, but I booked a round-trip flight to Cancun for just about $350 Canadian, so maybe about $275 American. There's direct flights to Cancun from most major cities, so that would be what I would recommend to look for. Got a bus ticket. Surprisingly smooth, but yeah, next stop, Playa del Carmen. Shortly after arriving, I booked a bus ticket with Adios, spelled ADO. It's the most common tourist bus company that's used for transportation. My ticket from the airport to my first destination was about $12 US. Another option, if you don't want to do that, is a thing called a collectivo. Collectivos are what a lot of the locals used to get around. They're little shuttles, which are privately operated by just like independents, and they're much cheaper. The catch with that is you want to speak at least a little bit of Spanish if you're going to take a collectivo, because from my experience, all the drivers that I interacted with did not speak any English. My first destination was Cozumel. Cozumel is about a 45-minute bus ride from the Cancun airport. You actually take a bus to Playa del Carmen, and from Playa del Carmen, you take a ferry to the island of Cozumel. My main objective for going to Cozumel was to do some world-class scuba diving. So it's been mostly just like a transit day. Took a plane to a bus, and now on a boat to Cozumel, which is the final destination for today. Which I'm super looking forward to. Just like settling in, relaxing, getting set up. All right, I'm all set up. Dropped off all my stuff at the hostel. Kind of like took a little break, showered because I've been in transit for a long time, and now I'm here in Cozumel, which is an island just about like 45 minutes off like the Cancun coast. So here the plan is to either like do some diving or snorkeling. So I'm gonna go walk around, try and get something set up for tomorrow morning, and weather permitting, you know, see some cool wildlife. I was warned the day before that the water might be a bit rough and we might not be able to see much due to the stir up of the sediment, and that a south point of the island was actually closed because of coral bleaching that was happening in the south point of the island. So the prime sites we didn't get a visit, but we still got to see some amazing things on sites around it. So smile, you're with me now. After diving, I took a ferry back to Playa del Carmen and caught a bus to Tulum, where I checked into my hostel for the night, and the next day I began exploring Tulum. I made it to Tulum. It is the next day. One of the best ways to get around Tulum is by bicycle. So usually it's a good idea to check with the hostel to see if bikes are included or if it's extra. For my hostel, unfortunately, it was extra. It's about 100 pesos for the day. So I'm using that to get around. Right now I'm off to see my first cenotes, which are basically just like natural water pools. And the rule of thumb for Tulum, I've heard, is the early bird gets the worm. So if you want to beat the crowds, it's good to get there when they open. Most things open around like 8 a.m. The first stop of the day was cenotes. The first cenote I went to go see was Grand Cenote. It's one of the most popular cenotes near Tulum, and and the crowds are usually pretty crazy. I got there as early as I could to try and beat them, but it was still pretty busy when I got in. It was pretty interesting, definitely not the best cenote I saw on my entire trip. I think if you're in Tulum for an extended period of time, you may as well go see it. But actually really close to Grand Cenote, there's a cenote called Cenote Calavera. And this cenote, I think, is a lot more bang for the buck. Number one, it's less expensive. Number two, there's less crowds. And number three, I think it's a lot more fun because you actually get to jump from a platform into the water. And Cenote Calavera, there's actually a whole bunch of like little fish that'll eat like the dead skin off your body. At first when you jump in, it's a little bit startling having these fish come up and nip at you, but then after a while you get used to it. It's actually kind of a relaxing experience. After the cenotes, I biked to Tulum Beach. Alright, so pretty action-packed morning. Now I'm going to kind of calm things down a little bit. I'm at the Tulum ruins. I don't think I've ever biked so much in one day. I biked to the cenotes, to the beach, to the gym, back over here. There's been quite a lot of biking for one day. Looking forward to just kind of like relaxing a little bit, checking out the museum. Usually it's best to go in the morning to beat the crowds, but I figured like since I'm on a limited timeline, it'd be good to try and get as much done today as I can. So yeah. Go see the room. The next day I woke up for sunrise on Tulum Beach. After sunrise, I hopped on a bus to go to Lake Bacala. Along the way, I stopped at a place called Cancun Lagoon. In Bacala. Today I'm going on a little tour of the lagoon. The boat's gonna take me on 3 stops, I think, to another cenote, things like that. Sunrise was another success. This water is gorgeous. It's like crystal clear and incredibly warm. It feels like a bathtub. I don't think I've ever felt like fresh water quite like this. But yeah, so going on a tour, gonna check out what's around the lagoon. And then at the end of the day, I'm gonna travel to my last stop of the trip, which is Valladolid. But yeah, looking forward to today. It's gorgeous. I've just been so lucky with this weather. It's crystal clear. Such a good day.
Repeat after me. Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. It means no worries.
So that's it for Bacala. Now waiting for a taxi, then heading off to Valladolid. Good morning. It's a new day in Valladolid. Off to catch a bus to Chichen Itza. Yeah, early morning, trying to get there as fast as I can to kind of like beat the crowds. Opens at 8. It's about just past 7 now, so I'm making pretty good time. Unfortunately, yesterday the Sony a63 was a casualty. I took it on the kayak to go get those morning shots of the paddleboarders and everything, and it didn't fall in the water or anything. It just got like a lot of like water dripping on it, like from the paddle, and it is not working. I even tried to like keeping it in rice overnight, and no bueno. Yeah, so today, Chichen Itza. I made it in. I accidentally ended up earlier than I wanted to, just because like I guess somehow the time was set wrong on my phone. So I actually woke up at 5:30 when I meant to wake up at 6:30, and I left at 7 when I meant to leave it, when I thought I was leaving at 8. Anyways, I'm like one of the first people here, which is like a nice happy coincidence. I'm gonna go try and snag some quick pics of Chichen Itza before it gets too busy, and then yeah, let's explore. This is awesome. Chichen Itza, I hired a taxi to take me to Yak de Cenote. The Cenote, about 20-minute drive from Chichen Itza. Alright, so I just had what was probably my last meal here in Mexico for the trip. But yeah, I don't know. I just want to say like I've gotten a lot more from this trip than I thought I was going to. I think like from Mexico, when I went as a kid, it was always like at the all-inclusives. I never really got to like experience Mexico and like for like I don't know the diversity it has to offer. Even like this short 1 week here has just been so eye-opening. It's been amazing just experience all the like the cenotes, the ruins, the food, the people. It's been incredible. One more trip to like a cenote tomorrow, and then I fly out in the evening, so I don't think I'll be doing too much tomorrow. But yeah, I don't know, I'd say it's a super successful trip. First trip traveling solo as well, so lots of fun. Mexico 2019, thank you, and yeah, see you guys next time. Ciao.